Hello and welcome back to Sourcing Stock Images. So you've already collected images that you like that represent your brand essence. We've had a look at, a few examples for what you might want to implement in your own image sourcing and branding. If you took personal branding 1, you also would have created a mood board already as well. So that mood board can be inspiration for your website imagery and sourcing. If you didn't already create a mood board with me, then you can go ahead and do that. It's really quite straightforward when you use Canva, which is a great tool. The first place that we're going to look at for sourcing really affordable and accessible stock images or completely free ones is Canva. So let's hop over to the screen share now, and I'll show you. So in personal branding 1, we did a logo, favicon, and brand guide in 90 minutes or less, along with a mood board. And a great place to start with your mood board, if you missed that class, is your own custom photography and screenshots from your social media, your presence that you like, as well as Pinterest. Pinterest is a really fun place to just get inspiring mood board items. I'm not recommending that you use Pinterest to find your website imagery because you probably don't have the license to use it. But you can go ahead and use Pinterest to search inspiring ideas. So you can add to your mood board and add to your inspiration from Pinterest by typing in some of your key brand essence words or vibes that you like florals. And you can take screenshots of different florals or whatever it is that will emulate your brand, and then go ahead and pop over to Canva and create a new design. You can even go mood board and look for templates, and then you can create a mood board off of a template and then delete all of their stuff and put your essence, put your screenshots and your images on there. So that's just a fun and expansive activity you can get into when sourcing your imagery. But like I mentioned, don't use any online screenshots on your website because you probably don't have the copyright to use them. And we don't want to be, stealing people's content without giving them credit or paying them for it. There's plenty of resources where you can create for free. All right, so within Canva, you can source some photos with a free account, and you're probably going to be able to easily justify getting a premium account, even if it's just for 1 month, so that you can download all of the assets under the licensed pro account. And then if you don't want to keep your pro account, you don't have to. So let's say you want a banner image that goes across the top of your website. Go ahead and create a design and go custom size. And you're never going to need anything larger than 1920 pixels wide. That's a pretty, standard size. Some website builders will recommend a specific size. For example, I know in Kajabi, the background image size they recommend is 2520. So for some reason, larger for them. So you can just pop over onto Google after you've chosen your desired website builder and say header image size Wix and see what they recommend. So Wix recommends 1200 by 630 pixels. So that's where Canva custom size comes in handy. You continually Google search or web search, what size should I use for this type of image? And then just create a canvas that is that size. But let's say 1920 wide, and then let's try 800 tall. So that's kind of like a banner image size. You can certainly go larger and then crop it later, but we're just using these dimensions so that you can see what kind of images come with Canva. Now from here, I'm going to click on the Elements tab and type in Nutritionist. And then some of the recommendations are graphics, photos, videos. We want to see all photos. Anything with a crown is a pro, anything without is free to use. So let's just choose this first one because, you know, there's not a person in that. So I can use it on my personal brand and it doesn't feel, you know, phony because it's just beautiful food photography. So you can resize to fill in your full canvas. If you don't want this book in the photo, you can just continue resizing the corners until the book disappears. And then you have a website banner image that is just of these nice, vibrant, beautiful fruits and vegetables. Go ahead and try typing your vocation. Let's try breathwork or your, you know, your certification in there and see if anything resonates that you might want to use on your website. So here's a fun, you know, and breathe one that's part of the pro subscription. It has the watermarks and you could either just buy this single asset or you can just get the membership for, you know, a month, download all your assets and then see if it's worth it for you to keep it. So go ahead and play around with your actual keywords of what you do, and you can type all the keywords that you wrote down in your workbook in here and see if anything else is resonating. For example, if you're a nutritionist and you work with people with IBS, you can type IBS in there too and see if, you know, something's going to resonate for maybe one of your services. So like this image here might represent a service that you have on your website quite well, without having to go out and do that photography photo shoot day. You can also type your energetic keywords. So I want people to feel joyful after they work with me. Probably should try spelling that right. And then you might find some images that resonate with your brand essence that are representative of being joyful. And that also match your brand aesthetic. Scroll through, it is, you know, it's hard to find items without the crown for the pro on them. But there you go, try free for 30 days. If you plan properly, you can get everything done in 30 days. But I think there was a little sprout. That's joyful to me. So if I did have the pro, I could, you know, I could add that as a contact form background banner. And you can see that it's green and green anchored in together, that it fits well with my natural palette as well. If I were to continue on with this sort of mood board and nature vibe for my brand identity, my brand, my personal branding message. So that's one source, Canva. Another piece about Canva and using the custom dimensions as well is that you can create your images that represent your services all in one Canva doc or one canvas, we'll call it. And you don't want to be using the 1920 by 800 size image for your small tiled images that go on your website. You want to use small images for those small images so that you don't overload the website with large files, which then will make it take a long time to load, and you could lose viewers if they're sitting around waiting for your website to load. So a fast website will lead to better SEO and more readers. So for example, on my website here, this is a stock photo, and as is, we'll head over to the community page. So here on my website, you can see that's a stock photo. And these are stock photos as well. These are portrait orientation. And then that's another stock image. So I have my Carly EM creative folder on my other Canva account. I have Carly EM Creative Stock, and they're 620 by 515. That seems like a random pixel dimension, but my theme, my WordPress theme, when I added this section, this block onto my WordPress theme from the section library, it said recommended pixel size for this block is 620 by 515. So your theme will often tell you what size canvas to create, and then you drop your image into that canvas and make it fit in there. These community referrals blocks are all 600 by 395. And so they have the same dimensions and the same flow on them. So if you go back over to my community page and scroll down to the referral section, then you can see that they, you know, I got these people's logos and they fit. Like if they were different pixel sizes, this one might be shorter and this one might be taller, and then that's just going to be really frustrating. So go ahead and get into your Canva and either look at what your theme is recommending or Google it. You can just Google Wix services image size, for example, and see kind of like the minimum size is 200 by 200. We recommend keeping it to 600 by 315. So you're just going to have to intelligently search for your requirements. But if you're creating your own section on your website and you want to have 4 pictures side by side, just go ahead and create a custom size that is 400 wide by 300 tall, for example, because 4 times 4 is 1600. And if the average screen is, you know, going to show like around a 1920 sort of size or in and around that, it's not too small and it's not too big. So we're going to create a design that's 400 by 300. And then I can just add page, and I can create all 4 of my canvases to represent my 4 different services. I can bring all of my Google Drive images that I put into my website folder over into Canva, and then I can pop them into my canvases, share, download, PNG, and all 4 of my service images will download as the appropriate size, consistently planned and designed together. Canva is your friend. Just do the extra work to create many canvases with the properly researched dimensions, and then pop those images onto your website. And then you will be thanking yourself when your site loads quickly and everything looks consistent and has a good vibe to it. Another awesome source for finding imagery for free is called Unsplash. So here we have the home of Unsplash, and if I wanted to type nutritionist, and you can see, you know, like if my brand aesthetic was light, bright, and white, like that would, you know, maybe that would work really well. This also might be good inspiration for you for your own photography. You see a stack of cookbooks, you're like, hey, I have a stack of cookbooks, I can take a photo like that. And then Unsplash itself is also embedded in Wix and Squarespace. So if you choose to go with a Wix website, or if you choose to go with a Squarespace website, they have media libraries that are actually linked to Unsplash. So I'm in a Wix site right now, and then I just did add to the page, add media. And first of all, Wix has media from Wix that's free. So you can type meal plan. And you can see if anything that's already in this free Wix library is going to match your aesthetic. And also there's Unsplash right here. So you can type meal plan. And then you get another collection of free to use, licensed, good to go imagery. Shutterstock, I believe some of these ones cost money, but again, Wix is like a robust source for stock photography that you can use on your website. And similarly, this is a Squarespace add media section or customize media section. And there's free images, premium images, and you can type in there. It's hooked up with Unsplash. So you're getting access to that whole library directly on your website. As you can see, there are plenty of places to find beautiful free stock photography these days. And if you are really clear on the aesthetic and the consistent vibe that you want to get across with your keywords inserted into it, the sourcing process can be really fun. It can be really, exciting and light you up. And I hope that you have some fun with the next stage of your creation process. In the next segment, we're going to talk about planning custom photography.